What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a brand new review for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. You guys, this is season number 11. This is episode number 8, I believe it is, you guys. This episode is titled, what is it titled? It is titled Renni Aim Fire, you guys. So before we go ahead and just get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Now, you guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, shall we? All right, guys. So this episode, it opens up and we see Scrappy and we see Erica Dixon. I was like, oh, well, looky here. Erica Dixon is back in the building. I'm like, okay, cool. Erica Dixon is not like one of my favorite people, but I was like, okay, it's cool to see Erica. She's here. It is what it is, right? So Scrappy is sitting down with his attorney, and he's talking about this divorce with he and Bambi. And you guys know how I feel about that situation. I think is I think it's a lot of issues. A lot of things can be said about both Bambi and Scrappy. And you guys know I've said it numerous times when it comes to Bambi that you knew what the warning signs were when you got with Scrappy, and you chose to overlook those things. I don't know if you thought that you would be a better woman for him, a better fit for him, or what. I just don't know what Bambi was thinking, but hey, you can only blame yourself, right? So when they sat down with the attorney asked Erica Dixon how she felt about Bambi as a stepmom, right? And Erica was like, I don't really like her. So Erica then talks about the fact that she and Bambi at one point they had made a truce with each other, and that truce was very short lived, right? And I'm pretty sure it was, right. I don't, here's my thing. I know there's been the running thing that they say that when Bambi got with Scrappy, he was still in a relationship with Erica. So I don't fault Erica if she feels some type of way about Bambi at all. I would never fault that woman for that. So if you have an issue with the woman, you have an issue with the woman. But the thing is, y'all do share kids with this man, so we were hopeful that they could get along, but unfortunately, it didn't work out right. Now next week's episode look like it's gonna be a little spicy with those two trying to get into it with each other. So the attorney was also talking to Scrappy and telling Scrappy how you're a good dad and all of this, and all this and that. Basically, big up in him, right? Now, here's what I will say when it comes to Scrappy. I don't think that Scrappy is a terrible father. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, but I do think that Scrappy's priorities are a little bit skewed when it comes to his family. And this is going to go back to what I said last week, right? Yes, he did show his receipts about, taking care of the bills and stuff, but you were also late. So I can't give you anything with that because if you were late on the bills, then you're not being a responsible adult. And that's just my personal opinion. And I want you guys to definitely tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. But like I said, do I think Scrappy is a bad person and a bad father? No, I don't. I've said it plenty of times what I think about Scrappy. I just think that with Scrappy, he's just a grown ass man child. That's all I think about Scrappy. So since we're talking about Scrappy and Bam and Erica, let's go ahead and knock them out the way. So the next thing we saw was Scrappy and Erica. They were with E Money. Child, the fact that they really called a girl E Money and her name is Imani. But they're celebrating her 18th birthday. And once again, they bring up Bambi, and I was like, oh my God. I really feel like Bambi's going to go live at some point and discuss this because y'all remember how she felt about being called that lady, which let's just delve deep into that real quick. Imani said that lady, she wasn't saying anything disrespectful about Bambi. And for Bambi to go on that, what she did, I was just not here for it, but let me know what you guys think. So Imani was talking to her parents. So she's turning 18, and she's getting ready to graduate high school. So they talk about how she feels about the situation with Scrappy and Bambi divorcing, right? And she's talking about she's happy the way that he's getting away from I forgot what she called Bambi. I was like, oh my God, I'm like, please, for the love of God. Because the one thing that I will say here lately that I'm really sick of when it comes to this family is the back and forth on social media. If it's not Erica and Bambi, it is Bambi and Mama D that continuously go back and forth with each other. And I'm like, are y'all forgetting that at the end of the day, y'all are family through the children that Scrappy shares with her? So Scrappy is Mama D's son, and those kids are his kids, which are Mama D's grandkids, and those are your children. So y'all share, like y'all take such low blows. And I'm just thinking to myself, are y'all forgetting that these children are going to get older one day and they're going to see what their grandmother, their mother, and their mother has done on social media. And how do you think that they're going to feel about that? They may feel a way about their grandmother saying stuff about their mama. They may feel a way about their mama saying stuff about their daddy and their grandma. Like, I just really want them to just stop doing all the stuff on social media. And like I said, I have a feeling that Bam is going to address this stuff. I would prefer it if she didn't. I think that would be the more mature thing to do, is not to respond to it. But I don't think that Bambi is that mature to not respond to mom and to not respond to the stuff that's on the show. But we'll see what happens this week, because I mean, and I know for a fact, I feel like next week she gonna definitely address the situation that's gonna happen with her and Erica when they meet up. But we'll talk about that next week when we get to it, you guys. But let's go ahead and move on. So next up, you guys, let's talk about Kirk and Rashida. When it comes to Kirk and Rashida, I have to be honest with you guys. Kirk and Rashida are two people who just, for me on this show, Kirk and Rashida can go. They have no storyline. Kirk and Rashida ain't had no storyline in some time now. Like I tweeted last tonight, where is Cannon? Because we ain't heard nothing about Cannon since they brought that storyline to the show. I just want Kirk and Rashida to know I have not forgot about it. So anytime I see y'all two on the screen and y'all coming up with some bullshit, in the words of Roxanne, these are the frost facts. Like, take everything that goes on with Kirk and Rashida with a grain of salt, right? So we see Kirk and Rashida, and they are at the bistro. So they let us know that the bistro is currently closed, right? And that they want to reopen it. You guys remember, and earlier in the season, they were doing that tasting because they wanted to turn it into a brunch spot, which, I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing, right? So they are closed currently. They are wanting to do a grand opening, but Kurt comes in like, Rashida, we need a permit to do this, and you didn't get the permit. I was like, oh my God. So Kirk is upset with Rashida because Rashida didn't get the permits. And I was like, my nigga, if you knew that she didn't get the permits and you knew that you needed the permits, why didn't you say, you know what, maybe Rashida forgot? Let me go do it. Let me go do it, right? Like, you two both own Frost Bistro. So why didn't you say, okay, if I feel like she gonna drop the ball, let me come in behind her and help her out? Like, I was just in here thinking to myself, like, this is some bullshit. Then when they started arguing, I was like, yep, this is literally some bullshit. Like, I was just like, what in the hell is going on with this scene? Like, I was so confused. So then the next thing we see is Rashida. So Rashida, she met up with Yandy, right? So Yandy is telling Rashida how, she's just really worried about Spice after the last time that they talked to her, how she, about her daughter, and how she just feels like she's not, her life, about her life, right? I'm not gonna say go too deep into it, but you guys know what she said. But Yandy is worried about that. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna give Yandy too much flack about that. But what I will say is I am over Yandy. Here's something that I want to say. When it comes to love and hip hop, right? I miss having the four different cities. I miss having Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop New York, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and Love and Hip Hop Miami. Speaking of Love and Hip Hop Miami, I saw today the trailer for season 5 of Love and Hip Hop Miami. That'll be airing on VH1 in what, a week or two. It airs on VH1 on August the 14th. So that is actually it's going to be 2 weeks from yesterday. So for me, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be reviewing Love and Hip Hop Miami. Miami was never really like a favorite of mine, so I'm just not 100% sold on it. I'm probably not going to do it at all. If I do happen to do Miami, what we'll probably do is we'll combine the two. Just I'm thinking about that, where I'll talk about Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, not Hollywood, but Miami and Atlanta in the same video. But I'm not sold on that, so don't quote me on that right now. But I do miss when we had Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Atlanta, New York, and Miami, because the top two for me were always Atlanta and Hollywood, and I legitimately miss Hollywood. Season 4 and 5 were the funniest seasons of that show. Oh my god, I miss it. And I what I want them to do is bring those back so some of these people can go back to their respective cities, i.e. Yandy, i.e. Erica, i.e. Safari, i.e. Ray and Prinky from on Miami. I want them to go back to Hollywood. Like I want some of these people to go back to where they came from. So after they sat there and talked, Rashida brought up the stuff that's going on with she and Kirk about her and the permits. Ultimately, Yandy told her she's gonna give her contacts so that they can get the permits, right? So then Yandy was telling Rashida, and I was like, this seems like deja vu. This really seems like deja vu from last week's episode because I was looking at that outfit that Rashida had on. I'm like, it looked like Rashida's wore this outfit before. So Rashida was actually no, Yandy was talking about Mendices, right? And how Mendices were down on himself, I guess because of what people were saying about the interview that he did with Shannon Sharp. But then Yandy said that I guess Lil Mendices or one of the sons came to Mendices and basically poured into Mendices. So she was like, you know what? Maybe you should do that with Kirk. I was like, oh my God. Here we go with the bullshit. So then Yandy told Rashida that she's going to be on this panel for women's empowerment that Mita's putting together. So it's going to be Rashida, not Rashida, but it's going to be Yandy, Deb Atney, Erica Banks, Amy Luciani, and Renni Rucci. And I was like, Mona, 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 Mona. A lie, don't care who tell it. This is something that you and them producers put on. Actually, somebody let me know in the comment section. Is Mona still a part of Love and Hip Hop? Because at the end of the episode, you do see her production company, Mona Me. But I thought years ago that Mona was off of Love and Hip Hop. So did Mona come back? Like I do one of that question, right? But this panel, a lot don't care who tell it at this point. Like y'all are really just putting shit together. So after that, we see Kirk, right? So Kirk came home to Rashida, and their son Cannon was there. Rashida was asking him about his homework. He was doing his homework, right? And so Rashida asked Kirk Cannon about his homework, and Kirk came in. Cannon said, "Hey, Daddy." Kirk ignored the little nigga. I was like, "Well, damn, your child just said hello to you, and you literally walked by your child." I was like, "Kirk, you ain't shit, my nigga." So Rashida, this is the point where I was like, here we go with the frost facts, with the BS. So Cannon was writing something, right? He said it was for school. So Cannon got up and read the little paper that he wrote. And then when he started reading it, it was about Kirk. I was like, I know you are lying to me. So Kirk eventually asked Rashida, did you put him up to that? She said, yes. I said, I knew it. Like Kirk and Rashida are so despicable to me. Like y'all will literally use y'all's kids for a storyline. Actually, they've done that before, right? Wasn't there a season when older kids were fighting with each other in the bistro? Child, Kirk and Rashida would do anything to stay on this goddamn show. Is the money that good? Like, that's the question that I gotta ask. Is the money on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta that good that y'all would do anything to for a check? Because y'all have really sold out y'all's marriage and y'all's family. Because season two, when Kirk was in the hot tub, whatever season it was that Rashida got pregnant, when he's talking about, what a rapper's known for. I want you to take a DNA test because I don't know if the baby's mine. Then y'all came with the bullshit with Cannon. We ain't saw Cannon since. Like, y'all really do anything for a storyline. At this point, can these two go away from me with this Apollo? So Rashida ended up telling Kirk that they got the permit. I was like, of course she did. Ain't no shock there. Like, ain't no shock there that y'all got the permit. I believe y'all probably already had the permit, but you're playing it up for the cameras. Like, Kirk and Rashida just really, really, really need to get off of my television screen with this dumb shit. Like, I'm so over both of them at this point, you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next scene. So the next scene we got is we see Amy. So Amy is meeting up with Chaotic, right? And so when it comes down to Amy and even Erica Banks, I really wish that they would just be honest with each other and with Chaotic about their feelings for him or even lack thereof, if there isn't any, right? So you guys remember in last week's episode that when Chaotic had that video shoot, and Amy came down and she saw Erica there, she got in her feelings, and I was just like, "Ma'am, it's not that deep." Here's the thing: if you're not in a relationship with Chaotic and he's not in a relationship with Erica, then you have no reason to feel any type of way. Now, if he says that he wants to exclusively date you, then yes. But if you guys have not made that agreement to exclusively date each other, then there's nothing for you to be upset about. So they sat down. Now, what I will say about Chaotic is the thing with Chaotic that bothers me is that when he's talking to Amy and to Erica, he it's not like Wiffle Waffle. He kind of plays this fence, right? Because he plays it off like, oh, Erica's just a homie. Oh, he jokes. That's what it is. He has a joking nature. And sometimes that's fun, but in this particular situation, it's not. I wish Chaotic would be honest and say, I like you and I like Erica. So at this point, you're not really telling me what you want, and neither is she. So at this point, I'm a single man, and I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know her. If one of you says that, hey, I want to, make this relationship official with you, then we can do that. But at this point, no one has done that, and it's just like, so what are we doing here, right? Like, I didn't understand that. So they set up whatever they were doing, right? So then she told him about this panel, and this will be the first time that she really sees Renni Rucci, right? So you guys remember the issue with Amy and Renni is that Amy had did a song that ain't not Amy but Renni had did a song. I, I guess it was a song that Amy had did, and I guess her fans had told her that Renni did the song, and so they had gotten into a whole social media beef with each other, and Amy got blocked by Renni, and Renni went live and stuff, all that, and it was all over the blogs. Honest to God, you guys, I ain't never saw this. I ain't never heard of this a day in my life until this show. I stay on the blog, so I don't know. I had never heard anything about this. Now, you guys in the comment section, please tell me. Had you heard anything about this? Like, also tell me, have you heard either Amy's or Rennie's song? Please let me know that in the comment section because I've just never heard either. I've never heard anything about this until now. And then this happened 3 years ago. So why are we harping on something that happened 3 years ago? It just really makes no sense to me, right? So after that, we get to this women's empowerment panel that Meta's putting on, right? And I still find it fascinating that Erica Banks is on this panel, and it's about women's empowerment. And I'm gonna tell you guys why I find it fascinating and interesting that Erica Banks is on the panel. because you guys remember in the pandemic when Erica Banks got signed to Carl Crawford that she had this imaginary issue with Megan Thee Stallion, a woman who she didn't know. Now I'm gonna give her kudos because in this scene she did mention that she had an issue with a woman that she didn't know, and I was like, Amen. But I still don't understand why you're on this panel because what are you empower? What are you telling women to do? I know this is about women in hip hop, right? And I got that, but there's nothing Erica can tell me that I'm. And no shade to anybody on this cast, right? That's on this panel, but I don't really know what kind of advice you can take from Amy, Erica, or Renni. I just don't really know too much advice that you can take from them. And I'm not saying that they're not talented or anything like that. I just don't know what advice you would take from them as far as women's empowerment. But hey, if people got something from it, it is what it is, right? I ain't got nothing negative to say about it. So at one point, Yandy's old messy ass decided to take it upon herself to go over to Rennie Rucci to tell Rennie to have a conversation with Amy. And I was like, Yandy, you know exactly what you're doing. You stirring the pot up like you are literally stirring the pot. You trying to get the shit started. And honestly, I ain't upset. I'm not mad about it. But like I said earlier, I just don't understand what the beef is because here's the thing that I want to say. Hey, Shayna, how you doing tonight? So yeah, the thing that I want to say when it comes to Amy, here's my issue with Amy. Amy has an issue with Rennie because of this damn song. And what I want to say about the song is this is not something that's new in the entertainment in the especially in the music industry. This typically happens, right? Where I mean, let's go back to Love and Hip Hop New York when Rich Dollars gave Erica Mena that song and he took that song back and he gave it to Olivia. Like this is something that's happened in the industry for years where an artist can write a song, they have a beat, they write a song, and they work on it with a producer. And that producer can take, sometimes you see it where producers take the songs and give it to another artist. So for Amy to have the issue with Rennie, like Rennie said, I didn't do anything to you. Now, do I think it was childish when she DM'd her and she said you blocked? Yes, but here's the thing. Why do we care? Like, I think people put too much stock into social media. That's one thing I will say. I think people put way too much stock into social media. Who follows you, who don't follow you, who unfollows. Oh, you follow me, but you unfollow me. Who blocked me, who did this. I think people put too much stock into that. And it's just not, personally for me, it's not that deep, right? So they were having a conversation and Amy got really heated with Rennie, and I was like, "Ma'am, what are you upset about?" Because, like I said, it literally is child. Now, it's childish on both sides. Let's just keep it a buck. It's childish on both sides. Like I said, Rennie didn't necessarily have to block the girl. You could have said, "Ma'am, I don't know you. Like this song was given to me by such and such. You work with this person. I work with that person. They gave me the song. I didn't know it was your song. I'm not trying to step on your toes, sis. It ain't that. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing like that, right? So, like I said, the conversation got heated, and then Yandy and Deb pulled um Amy to the side and basically said, "Is this what you want? Like either way, you have a legacy. So either you can walk by her and do whatever you want to do. If you want to hit her, hit her. If you want to have a conversation with her, whatever you want to do, that'll be your legacy." And I was like, for once, I actually agree with Yandy. Like I agree with Yandy. So Amy cooled down and she went and had the conversation with Rennie. And Rennie told her, she didn't do anything personal to her. And I was like, exactly. This was nothing personal. Like Rennie said, it was the person that you worked with who gave me the song. And here's the other thing. When you did this song, girl, in the business world, when you did the song with this person, did you do your split sheets and all that kind of stuff? Like, what did you do? Did you just write the song and not come up with, say, oh, this is for me? Don't give this to nobody. Like, did you have any paperwork drawn up when you did this? If you had no paperwork drawn up when you did this, then you cannot be mad at anybody but yourself. But that was the episode, you guys. Like I said, it was this situation right here to me was a little bit childish, and I just didn't get it. And also, like I said, please let me know. Have y'all heard either Rennie's song or Erica's song? Not Erica, but Amy's song. Let me know. And that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Overall, I thought this was another good episode. Um, yeah, pretty good episode. I was entertained a little bit. Shayna says every situation on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has been childish. Pretty much. Pretty much. But I mean that's the name of the game when it comes to Love and Hip Hop, right? But yeah, you guys, that's all I got for this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys for something else. What do we have coming up? So tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will have a new episode review of Sisters up tomorrow. And then we have Hot Topics this week on Friday and Ready to Love. Also, Love During Lockup, Bell Collective. And also, you guys, join me Saturday. We're going to do 2 lives. So, Saturday, we're going to do a live for Ready to Love, this episode that's coming up. And I want to talk about all the drama that has happened on Ready to Love this week here in Dallas with Janelle and Katarina, Marie and his baby mama. I want to talk about all of that stuff. So join me Saturday for a live from that, and then join me later Saturday afternoon for the live for Love During Lockup. And I will catch you guys later, you guys. So do me a solid favor, you guys. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Have a good night.